Dear Shelley and Sophia, I have joined your ranks. This is very exciting. You should be you should be awake or more excited. Sasha. Really? So hi, Shelley and Sophia. I cannot believe we are finally doing this, and I am in on the Dear Vlogs. This is very exciting. So I accept on all of the challenges that you have set me. The first being this very strange series of questions. I'll be honest, when I thought that you were going to ask me questions, I thought it would be things like, what's your favourite food? What's your favourite colour? Oh, how I was not prepared for the random list of things you have given me. But I take this challenge and I will do my best. I will answer your questions, yeah. I will, because I'm like that. I shall. So, I'd say I've got, like, I feel like, you know, in these sort of interrogation type points, or when a character in a film is going to be really smart, they put their glasses on. I already have them on, so I can't have the dramatic effect. But just go with it, because I'm about to answer some of your questions. So, the first one from Shelley was, if all the world is a stage, where does the audience sit? Now, I feel like you're going to want one sort of answer, but me being me, I'm going to answer it the Nell way, which is basically going to be a bit nerdy and weird. It is who I am. So, for me, if the whole world is a stage, the audience would be within the stage, because I did drama, GCSE and A-level. I am really into theatre nerdiness and literature and plays and all of that. So I'm going to drama this up right now, because the fourth wall and the breaking of the fourth wall is actually really integral to this point. So I'm very sorry, I'm about to get all technical and weird, but I will do my very best to make it less boring. Basically, this really cool guy called Stanislavski was trying to work out, how can I get my audience more interested in what I'm doing? How can I get them more involved? And basically, he broke down this imaginary wall that we have here, in which I, the actor, must act and be wonderful, and you as the audience must sit and be totally amused all the time, and there is no interaction. There is nothing going on. Stanislavski said, no, I will break this imaginary wall and we will have interaction and you will be part of the performance, and therefore, as Miranda would say, dos become uno. Not in that way. We're not talking like that. We're talking like a dramatic sense. So, Shelley, to answer your question, if the world was a stage, the audience would be in it, and even though they wouldn't be actors in it, they would be part of it. So in a weird way, they are in it. The fourth wall is broken. The world is a stage. The actors and the audience are all together in this exciting thing called life. You weren't expecting these type of answers, were you? I can tell you watching, like, what? Okay, this is weird. Moving on. Okay, the second question, again from Shelley. Why is the word for a fear of long words hippopotamonstros sesquipt allophobia? Don't ask me to repeat it, I cannot. So long. Frankly, I think because people are ironically mean and a bit stupid. Fear of long words is a ridiculously long word. It's not funny. Could you imagine if you had that terrible condition, mental state, phobia, right? And someone had to say, well, you know, what's your phobia? What's wrong with you? I don't know. And they said, I have. And they can't say it because it's not fair. Who is it that comes up with this stuff? This is where I then find out that this is totally, like, this is a word you've made up, isn't it? And now I look really stupid. Just go with it. Some of these are really random. Why does somebody believe you when you say there are 4 billion stars, but check when you say the paint is wet? Again, I think it's a kind of a stupidity thing about humanity. It's a bit like, you know, when you're stuck in horrendous traffic and you know you're going nowhere. Like the sat-nav is also telling you you're going to be stuck there for a while. And there's always some nutter that's like, I'm going to assess the situation and find out what's wrong. And they get out the car and they look just to see more traffic and that they could do nothing about it. And then they get back in the car like, yeah, we're at standstill. No kidding. I don't know. Why do people do that? Why do we do... Sometimes I think we're just, as people, not that smart. Definitely not that smart. This one is from Sophia. First question from Sophia. If you could be an animal, what animal would you be? Well, I like this question. There are many an answer to this question that I feel like I don't have. I would love to be a giraffe because I am tall, and as a kid I used to pretend I was a giraffe because then I didn't feel so sad about the fact that I was this giant and everybody else was down. And I'd always get tired because posture-wise, when you're around people that are smaller than you, as a taller person, you don't mean to, but you do just sort of hunch everything over to subconsciously like be closer to them, I think. I don't know. But as a tall person, it used to really bother me that I'd come home and I'd be like, so. And I've learnt now from the giraffe, I must embrace my height. And it's all good. And you know, The Giraffe, the Pelly and Me, that story by Roald Dahl, the giraffe in that is seriously awesome. So, I'd be a giraffe. I'd embrace being a giraffe. Although if I was going to be something different, I feel like an owl or a dog. Owls are... I love owls. They are so cool. Again, that's from a kid's book. Plop, the Baby Barn Owl, from The Owl That Was Afraid of the Dark. Not that I've recently listened to it. It's a really good book. You should read it. Especially if you have children. Actually, if you don't have children, just read it anyway. It's a really sweet story. Anyway. So yes, I would either be a giraffe or an owl. I realise I cannot be both. Although that would be awesome. Anyway, yeah, so maybe in paradise. Or an elephant. Nelly the elephant. Yeah, I do love elephants as well, actually. Well, now I'm just thinking about the animals I would like to have rather than the animals I'd like to be. I'm going off-piste. I do apologise. Back to script. Okay. Again from Sophia. What language are you most likely to learn? Again, a very good question. Honestly, I suck at languages. Terrible. But I love languages, and I think there's something, especially in the ministry, that is particularly almost beautiful. You know, when you meet a householder and you know they're saying no to everything, partly because they do not know how to communicate with you. Or you'll start talking to them and they'll be doing this. Because they haven't got a clue what you're saying. And then you realise they don't know what I'm saying. So you say something in their language. So you might say dzień dobry or привет or hello, I don't know. You say something in their language. And you see they're like, this is good. Now, even if hello is all you've got, now with technology, we can play them the video in their language. And it's inspiring to see how the organisation is so on it with languages. And the language app that helps us learn languages is very, very good. So, yes, I would love to learn a language. I feel like the only one I would be kind of suited for is a sign language, simply because I gesture a lot. But that's then limited in who you can talk to, because sign language is not universal. It's a sign language. I mean, fun fact, in Ireland, there is a different sign language for Protestants and Catholics, purely so they could never communicate. How horrendous is that? They're already in a smaller community because they're hard of hearing or deaf, and now you're going to limit them because of their beliefs? Come on, people. Hate this system. Ugh. Anyway, so yes, I do love sign language, although that is perhaps a smaller territory, so I don't know how much use I'd be. But basically, I have said to Jehovah, and I will continue to do so, if he thinks that learning a language is going to be beneficial for my ministry and that I can help people that way, I will literally learn whatever language he wants me to. So that's, again, a very long random answer, but there you go. That's what I'm going to say to you about that. This one, again from Sophia. Interesting. Would you rather be a human-faced horse or a horse-faced human? Now, me being me, I'm kind of like, is this one not obvious? Mr. Tumnus, people. I could run like a horse, but still, you know, eat chocolate and drink coffee. I basically want to be a fawn. It's kind of obvious to me. Anyway, questions. Hi. Oh, no. This one was from Daisy. This one makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable. Would you rather feel sticky for the rest of your life or itchy for the rest of your life? As someone who has suffered with eczema and pomflex and all sorts of horrendous skin itchiness, sticky. I vote sticky. I don't even need to think about it. Sticky. I'll just eat ice cubes all the time. That's what I'll do to resolve that problem. This one from Shelley is so embarrassing, but I feel like this could be, you know, a trust thing here for us. Shelley says, where was the most embarrassing place you have broken wind? Thanks for that, Shelley. Well, you know, we all do it, I suppose. I actually get really anxious about this because the thought of breaking wind in front of people makes me feel very sick. Like, exactly, it really bothers me. However, a couple of years ago, funnily enough, I'm pretty sure I was in Lincoln. I think it was Lincoln. I'm sure it was Lincoln. But I was with my mum and my granddad, and we went out for a meal at this cafe called Jenny's. And, you know, it was a little bit gassy. Needed to decompress. But again, the embarrassment of being seen or heard was very great. So what I did was a 360 sweep of the area. I saw nobody. I knew Mum was like behind, but she's my mum, so she'd have changed me as a baby, you know. Meh, it's my mum, it's all good. And anyway, so I did a 360 pan round, coast was clear. I decompressed. It's very loud, not gonna lie. And then out of the shadows appears this very attractive man. Now bear in mind, at the time I was like early mid-teens. The embarrassment and fear of seeing an attractive guy is already heightened, and I've just broken wind like a complete like it would have been like a ship coming in as this really handsome man approaches, and it was just so embarrassing. It was, and that was the Jenny's moment. So if ever you're in conversation with my mother and I, and the Jenny's moment is referenced, you now know what that means. Thank you for that question, Shelley. That was a lovely thing to talk about now, wasn't it?
So, just one final stretch, okay?
This question from Lana just kind of confirms that we've definitely hit toilet humour now. Would you rather constantly smell like poop and not know it, or constantly smell poop and no one else can? Strange question, Lana, but we're here now, so okay, I'll be brute honest. I worked in an autistic unit for a year and a bit, I think, and that taught me a very valuable lesson, and it desensitised me to the smell of poo. Now you might think, how can a person become desensitised to such a horrendous smell? But I'll tell you. It was my first day, and, you know, brand new job, didn't really know what I was doing, a little bit nervous, and they'd asked me to take this young lad to the loo. Now he was a non-verbal child, so he couldn't communicate really at all, other than a couple of signs, because we used a type of sign language. So took him to the loo, and I didn't know how. He just grabs everything in sight. Everything has to be experimented and touched and felt literally everything. So, you know, he's on the loo doing his thing, I'm chattering away or singing to him or whatever. And he finishes, which is, you know, it's all good. We all gotta go. It's no problem. However, what he then did was turn around, reach into the toilet, pick it up, lick it, and drop it on the floor, and then just plant it on his face, and then get hand soap and clap it all over the place. Now, for me, my first day, can you imagine? I was retching. I thought I was going to be sick. It was so vile. I can't. Ugh. It was awful. And so since that day, you know, that was a normal thing for him. And to be honest, most kids that you'd take to the loo, you just got used to it. So in answer to your question, Lana, the thought of me stinking stresses me out. I can't bear the thought of being smelly and horrible. And because of that job, I could literally I could change a million nappies that really don't bother me no more. So frankly, I would rather smell poop constantly that no one else can than smell of it myself.
This all over you. Is that chocolate or poop? Is that chocolate or poop? It's chocolate. What if that had been poop?
Who are your 3 female heroes? And that is a question from Daisy. Now, that's a really difficult question because I find it hard to narrow them down, if I'm brutally honest, because there are characters like Bible characters. It could just be Bible characters. It could be people that I know in my life. It could be people in like film and TV. It's really hard. So I'm probably going to choose one of each. So Queen Esther is a massive hero of mine, just because I can't imagine being in that situation, and King Ahasuerus was beyond awful. Like, this is a violent guy who, when he had commissioned this bridge that the storm had knocked down, you know, nobody's fault, the bridge was sound, but it was one of the worst storms. They could not have prepared for it. And it was unprecedented. And yet he then had everybody in who had helped design and build this bridge executed, completely sliced, heads then lined where this bridge would have been, in an act of rage. That was what he wanted done because of something that had happened with the weather. So I can't imagine being with such a violent, impulsive man, let alone married to him. And the fact she was a Jew and he didn't know, and then Haman had this horrendous edict and going to him unbidden. The courage and trust and faith in Jehovah blows my mind away. So Queen Esther, for me, love that woman, and I cannot wait to meet her in paradise. She's just amazing. Very, very courageous. So yes, definitely Queen Esther. So that is my Bible character person. Now, people in my life, it's actually really hard because I could write a list of inspirational people, because especially in the truth, you meet so many inspiring people. And I know you're going to go, oh, that's nice. But I'll be honest, my number one person that I know who is my hero would be my mum. Because when I think about how all of the challenges that she's endured to raise me on her own, I am just in awe of her. You know, my mum works really hard all the time and always puts me first, and is one of the most gentle, kind, funny, brave, inspiring people I know. And I really do feel that if I can be just a tiny bit of having those qualities, then I'll be a really good person. So yeah, my mum is my number one person hero. Yeah, that was really like, oh. She might be really embarrassed about that. We won't tell her. We'll just keep this between us. And then from film and TV, I kind of love from Castle which is a show that a friend of mine introduced me to and we absolutely loved. There's this character called Kate Beckett. She's a police officer, very smart, and I identify with her character a lot. But she's also so clever and fierce and brave. I connect with her character a lot, and yeah, she's a bit of a hero to me. What did you want to be when you were little? Well, everything. Didn't every child just want to be everything when they were little? But the main thing that I wanted to be, well, it was kind of one and the same. I knew I loved Jehovah, and I knew I loved the truth, and the ministry was just amazing. So for me, all I wanted was either to be in Bethel or on the ministry all the time. So I loved cooking, and we had this amazing little cookery book that Mum had got me, which was like cartoon little borrower people that would teach you how to make things in this book. I loved that book so much. It taught me how to make an omelette. So for years of my life, every time I would cook, we would have an omelette. That would be my signature piece. So I loved cooking, and so I really wanted to be a chef at Bethel. And I remember I went on a tour with we had a lovely sister who was a tour guide. I think her name was Megan, Sister Fox. And the day after they were going to move to a new assignment or something. I just remember she was really lovely. Anyway, I told her that I wanted to be a chef, and she then sort of had to explain to me that Bethel at that time were changing, so I wouldn't have been able to be a chef unless it was years away. So that was a little bit sad, but then I realised that I'm not the best chef in the world. I love cooking and I enjoy experimenting with different flavours and things like that, but to serve our brothers and sisters in that way, I'd be terrified I'd give them food poisoning. So yeah, my only other big dream that I wanted to be was to pioneer, and I'm pretty amazed to say it does blow my mind to think I've done it. So that is what I'm doing, and it is the biggest privilege of my life, frankly. And going to pioneer school in particular was just incredible. I cannot, if ever you're looking at what goal to set, honestly, pioneering and pioneer school will be the best thing you ever do. Do it if you can. If you have the circumstances, honestly, best thing you could ever do with your life. So there you go, Shelley and Sophia. That is my answer to the most random set of questions I think I've possibly ever been asked. But then that's quite possibly the weirdest set of answers you've ever had. I have thoroughly enjoyed this. I hope you have too. So dear Sophia and Shelley, I hope you have a wonderful week whatever you're up to, and I look forward to hearing from you guys soon. Bye.